Hello one and hello all. I'm trying to get a new recording thing for these like sort of head-on style videos where every single video I recorded in my Metroid Dread series, I leaned it against like a letter M that I had lying around. That's what I'm doing for this. So speaking of Metroid Dread, that's what today's video is about. I will be doing a review, same way I reviewed the other games on the channel, which I think were Fusion, Metroid Fusion, Metroid Other M. So we're doing Metroid Dread because I just beat it. We're looking at 5 categories, ranking each of them on a scale of 1 to 5, then adding them up at the end to get a score from anywhere between 5 to 25, and then we're going to turn that into an equivalent star rating, every 5 points equaling 1 star. Simple as that, yeah. So 5 categories we're looking at are, in no particular order, plot, gameplay, graphics, music, replayability. So let's start with the plot, why not? So this is one of the more story-focused Metroid games. It has cutscenes, dialogue, voice acting, characters, you know, that's more than most Metroid games have in the franchise, or at least most 2D ones, I should say. Because the first game, the second game, had no words, basically, other than Missile Tank acquired. Super Metroid had, like, the opening text crawl, but that was it. Zero Mission had the occasional cutscene that lasted like 10 seconds. Fusion had a lot of dialogue in it. Other M just sucks. And Sans Returns also did that more subtextual storytelling. This is one that has like actual, like, you know, has villains. The very base villain of Ravenbeak. It's got some reoccurring dudes. It's got Kraid. Plotlines, the Quiet Robe dude. A lot of story stuff going on. The whole becoming a Metroid storyline thing, you know. It's pretty good by Metroid standards in terms of both, like, subtext and actual text. It's a good combination of the two. So for that, I think I'll give the story in this game, along with the fact that it has a really good ending in my opinion, very satisfying and climactic feeling, I think I'll give this story a 5 out of 5. It's good. I could maybe say 4 out of 5, but, you know, that type of range. Next up, we're looking at gameplay. The gameplay in this game is sharp. It's fun. You got all your standard Metroid stuff, you know, shoot, jump, wall jump. The ledge grab, or power grip as it's called, that's something that's been in the franchise since Zero Mission, and they never really, sorry, not since Zero Mission, since Fusion actually, and they just never ditched it, which I'm happy that they never ditched it, because it's just convenient. So you got all your basic controls. You got the melee counter, or as I call it, the uppercut, because, you know, you're basically just uppercutting them. It's pretty awesome. Lots of fun gameplay. The missiles work the same as per usual, you know, hold, R, fire. It's been that way ever since Fusion as well. Fusion knows hold R, Zero Mission knows hold R, Sans Returns knows hold R. This game with hold R. Basically every 2D Metroid game is just hold R, and you can fire the missiles. They got the free aim, where you can aim in a 360-degree motion, which is pretty nifty, all things considered. You kind of take advantage of it, you know, take it for granted. Then you go back to the older Metroid games, you're just like, oh crap, I actually have to be in a precise placement to shoot my opponents? What the frick? What nonsense is this? But yeah. Gameplay, I'll give it another 5. It's fast, responsive, fun. Graphics. People love to hate on the Switch for having bad graphics. They act like it isn't just basically a slightly better 3DS. But this game has good graphics for Switch standards, I will say. It's realistic with some mild stylization. Yeah. It's very detailed. The backgrounds of all the areas are very lush. They feel alive. There's always something going on in them. Like Gavaran, for example. there's almost always some type of like plant doing something. I don't know what this is. There's always a plant doing something in the background, like eating something, just moving around in general, just doing generic stuff. Bavenia, you'll see like fish or like squids in the background all the time. Dive in, you'll see something banging like in the vents behind you at all times. Atari has like little cave critters scattering around. Catalyst has a ton of fire and lavas in the background along with machinery. And heck, even in some areas later in the game, like Hanubia, you can see Chozo warriors that are gonna fight later in the area just hopping around in the background. It's got a lot of depth, a lot of stuff going on. That's just fun to look at. It's very pleasing to the eye, I will say. So for this, I'm thinking, by Switch standards, screw it, 5. Why not? Music. Alright, this is the part that everyone hates about the game. I wouldn't say hates, but more so dislikes. The music in this game is unique, literally. It only borrows like 1-2 tracks from the older Metroid games. It borrows Lower Brinstar from Super Metroid when you're talking with Quiro. And it borrows, like, I think the song's called Tension or something like that from Metroid Fusion. It goes like, they took that and they shoved that in the experiment number Z57 boss fight. And like that's it. That's all of like the reoccurring music. It's a completely original track of like 60 songs. It's nuts. It's very unique, like I said. It's very atmospheric music. The boss songs they don't really rely on melody as much. They're also just percussion and like beats. And kind of disjointedness. Hold on. Okay. So, it's definitely a more unique Metroid track. It's not as catchy immediately, I'd say, but I like it. But because of the lack of catchy tracks, I'll give it a... Here's what I do. I'll give the soundtrack a 3.5 and go back and make it a 4.5 for the plot. There. So we got 4.5, 5, 5, 3.5. I'll probably add it all up off screen. And replayability. It's a Metroid game. All Metroid games have 10 out of 10, or in this case, 5 out of 5 replayability. Just how Metroid games are. All Metroid games, especially the 2D ones, have excellent replayability because most of them can be beaten in 5 hours or less. If you know what you're doing. Heck, I've seen people speedrun Metroid Dread in like an hour and a half. It's nuts. Well, I haven't watched the speedruns, but I've seen the speedrun show up my recommended feed. And you'd be like, Metroid Dread, any percent, 1 hour, 13 minutes. It's just like, oh yeah, that's how long it took me to get to what? Kraid? Corpius? Something like that? Like one of the early bosses? And I beat the entire game. It took me 12 hours to beat the game, my first save file. With no what you're doing, you can beat the game pretty fast, get more power-ups. Sequence breaks, that's something that this game has that adds replayability. Sequence breaks. I learned that you can apparently get this. You can sequence break and get the screw attack early. You can sequence break and I think get the bombs early and defeat Kraid with like a bomb launcher that like one-shots or something like that. You can one-shot with a Shine Spark against Experiment Z57. You can sequence break and get the screw attack early. I may have always said that. You can sequence break and skip both the bosses in Bavenia if you feel like it. Dragaiga and the Robot Chozo dudes. Which is what I did. I accidentally sequence broke and just skipped the Robot Chozo dudes. I found them again off screen just so I could get more power-ups. Because they were guarding some missiles. Do you care that I skipped one boss battle? It's literally identical to the one in Bavenia. So... replayability, the fact they can skip bosses, get power-ups early, do cool like little one-shot tricks. Speed boosters are just insane. 5 out of 5 for replayability. So I got 5 out of 5. So I got 15, that's 19, 23 out of 25. If I had to give that a star rating, that would be about 4.5 stars. 4.6. I give it a 4.6 out of 5. Or if I were to translate that into like a out of 10 rating, I guess that would be like a 9.6, I think. It's good. A 9.6 out of 10. It's a good game. I would highly recommend it. I don't know what to say. It's got, by Metroid standards, pretty good story. Amazing replayability. The gameplay is snappy, fast, easy to get with. The music is a bit lacking in memorability, but it's still good to listen to. And the backgrounds, the graphics are lush, lively. So that's all we have to say about the game. This is my longest review, I think. I could be wrong. I haven't done a review in like this is my 5th ever review. I did Godzilla vs. Kong, Star Wars: The Rise of Skywalker, Metroid Fusion, Metroid Other M, and this. So I don't know. So if you've enjoyed this video, you can leave a like or subscribe if you like it, or you can leave a comment down below. There you go. If you have anything to say about it. You can also follow me on Instagram at RealX5. And until next time, I'll see you later, buddy. Bye-bye.